Good morning, and we're getting close to that new year. It's hard to believe 2025 has gone by so quickly, but we are approaching another New Year's Eve and another year of looking forward to good things to happen. And as I am going through that, there's nothing that I can recall more important at this time of the year than people feeling that they miss out on a New Year's Eve celebration and they wonder, God, why do I feel so alone, or why do I feel so lonely? And I've read articles that talk about suicides being highest in the early parts of January because people feel like they've missed out on that New Year's celebration, and whatever that was. And I always remember an interview on television that somebody said, John, New Year's Eve, everybody thinks there's some big thing that has to happen on New Year's Eve, and it's nothing more than just a little bit more of it than a Friday night. And that there's no big wow that happens on that day, yet people look for that special thing, the media builds it up, and everything comes back, and it makes feeling lonely even more exaggerated and even more prevalent to people that feel that they're alone and that they're isolated. So I read this article, the timing was perfect. This is in the January issue of Tufts Health and Nutrition letter, and really does a great job of talking about the loneliness factor. It has real consequences for physical and mental health. So that which we know, and there's enough of research that talks about what it does to a life expectancy. So this article, I think, that did a nice job of talking about what the risks are, obviously, anywhere from cognitive decline, which is my interest in it, which is how does it impact cognitive functions, and leading to dementia and possibly Alzheimer's. Obviously, we know it can have an impact on our cognitive functions. It's suicidal and self-harm. So, my goodness, how much more do you want to do to say, well, what do we do about it? And so the first thing I thought they did a nice job in this article of talking about loneliness and social isolation, and then distinguishing it from solitude, which sometimes we all want that day or that moment where we can get a few minutes to ourselves and I just want to be alone. I want to just reflect on life and things that are going on. I just want to de-stress myself, and that's a good thing. So someone does not have to interact with others to experience social isolation. If having a lack of social contact is distressing, then you feel lonely. So let's go over that. If you have a lack of social contact and it distresses you, then you feel lonely, meaning I'm not seeing people and I feel alone in the world. I feel lonely. I feel like there's nothing to be around for. Not everyone experiencing social isolation, though, is lonely. There are some of us sometimes that just want to be alone, and that's okay. Those moments of reflection, those moments of just wanting to be with yourself. Maybe it's to read a book, maybe it's to listen to music, maybe it's just to write a journal, maybe it's time for praying. I mean, there's different things that you might want to do where it's just, I want to be by myself. Social isolation is objective, when loneliness is subjective. It is based on how someone feels about their circumstances. So that was an interesting thing. Being socially isolated, being very objective, meaning I would just want to take myself out of the social activities for now. Where loneliness is saying, how do I feel about this? And each person might have a different foundation of what they consider to be lonely and how they feel. So that's a tough one, because you got to get people to talk to you and tell you if they feel like they're alone in the world and there's nobody they can talk with or nobody they can reach out with, and therefore they just kind of fall into a state of depression. Social isolation does not lead to loneliness. It can still have an adverse effect on health and well-being. Individuals isolated by geography, illness, or lack of transportation or support may face barriers for accessing health care. Isolation may contribute to poor quality diets, lack of physical activity, and other unhealthy behaviors. Keep in mind that solitude is not the same. For people, periods of time spent alone is restorative and beneficial. So this gets a little bit crazy in terms of the distinction between being lonely, being socially isolated, feeling alone. and then having moments of solitude where you just get a chance to reflect on yourself. So obviously what you want to be able to know for yourself is, where do I fit on this scale? Are there times when I just want to be alone? And that's a good thing. But then do you come back into a world where you feel that there are people that care for you, or there's somebody that you can talk with and share some of your stresses or frustrations, or some of your concerns that you've got going on, maybe with family, maybe with your own well-being and health. And it's always important to have, as I've read over and over, the importance of having 3 or 4 people that you can reach out to. And sometimes it may be a doctor, sometimes it may be someone at a church organization, somebody in a community group. So here are some of the thoughts that they recommend, that at least what you can do is to deal with this. Volunteer. Find something in the community you can share, maybe life experiences with, and volunteer. I always remember working with a Boy Scout group, and we went into a church bingo group, and we had the adults, the seniors that were playing bingo, help out these kids in the Boy Scout group, which had a double purpose. It helped them to teach kids skills that they had learned during their lives, and the kids just love learning from people that reached out to care for them. Maybe there's a faith-based organization of some sort you can go out and reach into. Maybe there's a local gym you can go to. And when I say the gym, it doesn't mean you have to go to the weight equipment. You have to start lifting, 50-pound dumbbells and things. Just going to a weight equipment and even getting on a treadmill or an elliptical, or just going to an exercise class. I go to an LA Fitness, and they have a lot of activity in the water, in the pool, so with the light dumbbells and stuff, and just being in the water and having an instructor reach out and be a part of. So there are lots of things we can do, and sometimes you need that helping hand that you reach out to, grab onto, that helps pull you along. So maybe you find someone that can help you get into a group of some sort. Maybe there's someone you can reach out. And what I have found is, it's always amazing to me when people reach out and look for help, how many people want to give it and are there to offer it, because it makes a difference in their lives as well. Social interaction online. There's Zooms and there's all kinds of social activities. It may not be the best. I may not always think of it as the most ideal in reaching out for social activities, but it's an option. If you tend to be a computer person and you can work with your technology and how to access different sessions on Zoom or different activities on the internet, those are also something that you can do. One that we don't think of very often, and it got me thinking this morning as I read this, is attending a class or a lecture. The schools, townships, libraries, they offer these educational programs. And so I was thinking now going to the local high school and saying, God, do you have adult classes that you can offer to people? That local colleges, if you happen to be in a community college area, they offer them for seniors and things. So the community itself, wherever you may live, you'd be surprised at how many different activities the local communities may offer and have for you that may not even cost you any money. So many colleges even offer, as long as you're not going for credit, they offer you college courses. Community libraries, which I think exist almost anywhere, have speakers that come in and talk on different topics and subjects. Bookstores are always offering authors opportunities to come in and talk. And then maybe you develop a hobby. Maybe developing a hobby may be something that you might want to think about doing. Something you've never done before and you think you might enjoy it. You've always said, I've always wanted to learn this, and maybe you can go find someone in one of these community groups that may have that skill and may offer it. So the loneliness factor is something we should be more proactive with. And as we sink sometimes into this feeling of isolation where we feel alone and the world is going on without us, especially at this time of the year, maybe it's time to be more proactive. And send me an email if there's any suggestions anybody wants to have. Send me an email at adottino@AOL. And maybe we can get on a call and we can figure out where you may be and where you may live and how how you can reconnect yourself into the world of joy and happiness in your own life. And we'll see you back here on Wednesday. The new year is approaching rather quickly. I don't know how to slow the days down, but there are 24 hours in every day, and they go by pretty quick.